Hi everyone, this is Dr. Laura Gannon-Murakami, and I just want to welcome you to nutrition. I'm very excited about this class because I really believe that it is not only fun and interesting, but it also, the information that you learn in this class can have a real huge impact on the rest of your life. So we know that nutrition plays such a key role in health and prevention of diseases. Diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and even autoimmune diseases. Even Alzheimer's and dementia might have some kind of diet component, although that's still, there's lots of different research in that area. So it really is very important to have a good, healthy diet. Um, there's a lot of really good information that we're going to be learning, but the really important part of the class is I want you to focus on your own diet and the food choices that you make, and how to choose the best diet for you, because we know that diets are actually, or food choices that you make is very personal. So, and your body is very unique, and it might respond differently to some foods than perhaps maybe the person sitting next to you. I really want you to get in touch with your nutritional needs and what feels good to you, and how your body responds to food. So not only will be learning the course material, but also hopefully you'll be learning more about yourself, which is very important. So we'll begin the class on how nutrients are digested. So we'll talk about the digestive system. Then we'll learn about macronutrients. So there's two types of nutrients. There's macro, which is big, macronutrients, and micronutrients, which is small. So macronutrients include proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. And if you ever took biology class, you know those are the three of the four important molecules in biology. The fourth one is nucleic acids, and we don't really have to worry about that in our diet. And the second division is the micronutrients, and that includes vitamins and minerals. So we'll talk about water-soluble vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins, and major minerals and trace minerals. So then we're going to be learning a little bit more about how energy affects our bodies. So if you exercise more, what's happening when you exercise? Where does that energy come from? And how does the body take the energy from the food and give it its own energy? So that really is the purpose of eating, is to take food and give yourself energy, so that your cells can take that energy and they can survive and divide and grow, as well as micronutrients too. Our body needs just a little bit of vitamins and minerals, mostly as cofactors or other little tiny parts of our body that helps with chemical reactions. So we'll also be talking about exercises and what the different types of exercising and how that affects your body. So nutrition and exercise go hand in hand. And there are three types of exercises. There's aerobic, so that is any exercise that you breathe, that you find that you're breathing heavily. So running, walking, for some people, climbing stairs. And then there's anaerobic. So aerobic means with oxygen. So the aerobic exercise, we're going to be using a lot of oxygen. Then there's anaerobic, where we're going to be using a different type of energy pathway, and that's more like weightlifting. And then, of course, flexibility. So that's more like stretching and some types of yoga. So that's kind of fun. But I'm also going to focus on my area of research, which is the brain. And you think, well, this isn't neuroscience. This is nutrition. But we do know that the brain and the digestive system really communicate in very complicated ways. because that's our drive. I mean, we are animals, and we spend so much of our lives eating. That's if you see an animal in the wild, they're always looking for food to eat, and so we have many different brain areas that drive us to eat. And so that in nowadays, we don't have to worry about usually worrying about hunting or getting the food that we need. Everybody has enough food to eat. So, but we still have those parts of our brain that drive us to eat. So we'll have a better understanding about how food gives us pleasure. So there are some foods like chocolate or like macaroni and cheese, the comfort food that gives a pleasure, and that's because it sparks a part of our brain called the pleasure center. And they also have different areas that make us, different hormones that make us super hungry or full. And there's a lot of feedback between the hormones in the stomach and the nerves and how everything's connected. And we're still don't have a clear understanding because it's very complicated. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit more about that. And then we'll also talk about alcohol and the role alcohol plays, and also the role of marijuana. Now that marijuana is legal in Vermont, as you probably read, I guess now legally you can know firsthand that if you smoke marijuana, it makes you hungry. So we'll talk about the role of both of those drugs on the brain and how that affects nutrition. Okay, and then we'll also talk about some fun other things in our discussions, like genetically modified foods, nutrigenomics, food insecurities, the farm-to-table movement, and supplements. So there's lots of different supplements, and some are scientifically supported, some are not, and then alternative medicine, and even a whole bunch more. So it's nutrition and then some. So a little bit fun. So yeah, and I really love teaching this class. I think it's a lot of fun. Okay, to begin, I do have a book that I'll be following, but feel free to use the free book because the free book is perfectly fine, and all that information, there's nothing magical new about nutrition. All the facts are, people know about all the facts. So feel free to use the free text. And if you haven't done so, send me an email and let me know what your major is and how many online classes you have. If you feel comfortable with the computer, how many science classes you've had, and what your goals are for this semester. Okay. And then make sure you post to the icebreaker and introduce yourself to your classmates, and check out the syllabus. Okay, and this is the syllabus. And again, classes start on Tuesday and then they end the following Monday by midnight. And so all of your assignments then are due on that Monday, except for discussions. Your discussion, you should have an initial posting on Thursday and then a final posting by Sunday. Okay. These are the objectives. Obviously, I expect you to have academic honesty, and I do check, so be sure that you're not copying and pasting. So you don't want to have somebody else's words in your, and take credit for that. You're here to learn, so make sure that you use your own words. You are expected to attend every week, so at least check in at least every week. So which is really good with online classes. So if you are organized, you can come in early, post and respond, and then that's it. If you can get them all done in one day, that's fine. So all the readings are required in both the lectures that I have and in the reading material. So I'll talk about late assignments in a minute. And so netiquette refers to just having good manners in online classes. So I've never had a problem. Nobody's ever been rude. And we'll have a variety of assignments. Each week in general, we'll have a discussion or a blog. So a discussion are really the fun part of the class. That's where you get to be the expert in a little area. You could post on something. It should be a couple of paragraphs and then respond to at least 2 other postings. And if anybody makes a comment that's insightful or ask a question, be sure to respond to them too, because if they took the time to read your discussion, you want to make sure that you respond to them. Okay. In some weeks we'll have blogs instead, or journals, and that is usually not to be shared with your classmates, so it could be a little bit more personal, and also about a couple of paragraphs. Okay, in the class we'll have 5 quizzes on the reading and lecture material. And then at the end of the semester, we will have a presentation. Okay, so I just changed the late assignment policy, so I will give everybody 1 extra week. So if your assignment is due on Monday, you'll have an extra week to get the assignment done. Except for discussions. Discussions have to be done that week. So I know that many of you are working and you're pretty busy. And sometimes things happen. And it's fine if you want to take an extra week to get your assignment done. That's fine. You don't have to contact me, and I won't deduct any points. Okay. And we'll be talking about digestion, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, alcohol, energy, fat-soluble vitamins, and water-soluble vitamins, major and minor minerals, energy balance, weight management, nutrition and fitness, and we'll have your presentation. Okay, I also want to point out that we'll have a librarian embedded in the class, which is great. So if you are researching something and you want a little bit more information, or you can't find any information, they're really so helpful and they're so eager to help. So you can just ask a question here. And if you have any questions too about the class, feel free to post it here. If you want to, you can email me, and I'm always checking online all the time. So you can post it here or email me. Okay, so each week, so this is the first week, but each week is very similar. I usually have a to-do list, so what to complete each week. I usually have the lecture, so I kind of summarize the chapters, and then I have everything in PowerPoint. And then we usually have a discussion and an assignment. And then if we about every 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have a quiz. And the quizzes are open book. Okay, so yeah, I'm excited about starting. So it should be a really fun and interesting and very interactive class, and I want you to learn the material, but I especially want you to learn more about yourself, because I think that you could always look up how many calories are in a food, but it's a good opportunity to learn about what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are, what your goals are. Okay, and feel free anytime to email me if you have any questions. Okay, great.